Hello everybody, welcome back. I am going to be doing a book haul today, and I actually am dividing this book haul up because I feel that my book hauls have just gotten a little bit too long. I let them go for months and these books stack up, and it's just like a 40-minute to an hour long book haul, and that just seems like a lot for y'all to watch and also for me to like edit and film. So I'm technically filming both of them today anyways, but I'm going to be breaking this book haul up into two different parts, and this part is going to be all of the special editions of books that I acquired within the last 6 months maybe. It's been quite a while because a lot of these come from back like pre-Dragonsteel, so I know it's been a good chunk of time. But yeah, all of these are going to be special editions of some kind. Most of them do come from book boxes, but the ones I'm going to start out with are ones that I got outside of book box subscriptions or like one-offs of books. The first one I have is The Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson. I did pick up the Waterstones edition of it. I really love these sprayed edges. I think they are so pretty. I do have the Kickstarter special edition of this one, but I wanted this one as well. I love collecting the different editions of Brandon Sanderson's books. He's my favorite author. The Cosmere is my favorite world. And so I feel that this is a place where I can kind of splurge and have different editions of books because I love them so much. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and get this one. I think that's the only customization on it is the sprayed edges. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it's not signed. So yeah, I think that's the only thing that has changed from the regular UK edition, but I'm really excited that I was able to get this one. Also, one of my ears is plugged, so if I am talking weird, it's because I can't tell. These next ones I am really excited to talk about because I actually purchased them directly from the author. Back at Dragonsteel, I was walking around going to the different vendors and there was a Michael J. Sullivan table, and I was so sad that he wasn't there, but his wife and his daughter were there. He was sick and so he wasn't able to make it, but they were there. They were so awesome, so nice, and I decided to purchase special edition copies of his Theft of Swords series. You cannot get this series in hardback, and so having these in hardback, it's just so exciting for me. I think this is the only way you can get them. Like, you can't get the traditionally published ones in hardback. These are ones that he and his family have done themselves. It comes in this slipcase. It's a really sturdy one, honestly. Pull these books out. And they do just have regular edges. They don't have sprayed edges. But here are the books. We have Theft of Swords, Rise of Empire, and Heir of Noron. So we have all of them with these awesome dust jackets, but my favorite part is actually when you take the dust jackets off. Let me show you. And the spines of these books line up to make a really cool picture. I love this. I think it is so cool, and I actually really like that it's on the spines instead of the edges. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love when the sprayed edges like go together and form a picture. One of my favorite things. But it's kind of nice to have it like just the spines going together like this as well, so I can face it out like this, put them back into their slipcase, and have this part that's facing out. And so yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to display them. Is I'm going to take the covers off, put them in a safe place, and then display them with these facing out because I really like these edges. And on my last big book haul that I did, I had the first book in the series, but these are from the Broken Binding, and it is the, what is the name of this series? I totally forget. The Powder Mage trilogy. The first one is A Promise of Blood by Brian McClellan. These have gorgeous sprayed edges that go together. The hardcovers are just the regular designs of the books, but you can't really get them in hardcover, which is something that Broken Binding does a lot. It's one of their things. These are signed, and they have a really pretty under the dust jacket art on these books, as well as some very pretty end paper art as well, showing some of the magic in these books, which I really love. And here is the Crimson Campaign. This one also has the naked hardback art and then the end paper art as well, which I really love how Broken Binding does it. I feel like they really focus on making the things that they do customize really good, and especially their sprayed edges. I think they're probably one of the best in the business at really gorgeous sprayed edges. This next series is a completed trilogy. The Broken Binding does usually trilogies, and each month you'll get one book from the trilogy as part of the subscription. And the last 3 months they have done the Hanged God trilogy, and these are the books. This is like what the covers look like. As far as I'm aware, they did not make any customizations to the actual art on the covers of these books. But again, I think this is one you could not get in hardback. But I love these sprayed edges. I love them so much. It's just so satisfying how well they go together to form this tree. It might be a little bit off just because of the way I'm holding them, but I think it's lined up pretty well. But oh, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things about Broken Binding. They always kill it on the edges. It's my favorite thing. Okay, let me show you some under the dust jacket art because they always have that as well. So we have this beautiful end paper art. Oh, and they are signed as well. They're always signed from Broken Binding as far as I've gotten. And then gorgeous foiling on the naked hardback. They do such good naked hardback artwork as well. I just think they do such a good job, such high quality. And here's the second book in the series, the Under the Dust Jacket foiling. And then it does have end paper art as well. And here's the final one. We have some awesome foiling on there. And end paper art. And I feel like I just saw, did the author like draw me a picture? Oh my gosh, it looks like he drew a little picture in there when he signed it. That is awesome, and I love this so much. Did he draw that or stamp? That is so, so cool. Wow, I feel like my interest in reading this series like just went up because of that cute little drawing that this author did in there. I love this so much more now. I didn't even notice it before. Another Broken Binding purchase was this special edition of Murtagh by Christopher Paolini. This is a follow-up to his Aragon series, and look at those sprayed edges, the dragon, the clouds. I think it's stunning. And it is signed by the author, which we love. It has some end paper art as well. And then it also has the dragon on the naked hardback, which we absolutely love to see. We are team dragons here. I absolutely love books with dragons. I have actually read this one already and really, really enjoyed it. I love the world of Allegasia, the Aragon world, and I'm so excited that we're jumping back into it, getting more content in here. Even though, honestly, I'd like to follow a different character, I am still enjoying it a lot. This next Broken Binding book is from an author that I really love, and that's Robert Jackson Bennett. This is The Tainted Cup, his most recent release. I love this cover. I am not positive if it's different than the original. I think it might be different colored. I'll put the original over it so you can see because I'm not positive, but it also has some sprayed edges and some foiling on the naked hardback. I think that, yeah, that's all the foiling on it. And is it signed? I thought it was, but I could be wrong. Yes, it is signed and numbered. And I have number 39, which is probably the smallest number I've ever gotten in one of these special edition book sales. So I am actually really, really excited to read this book. I'm not going to probably read this one because I think it's so pretty, but I might get this like from my library so then I can not read this copy, but still read the book. And I could not help myself. So when the Broken Binding announced that they had a little bit of leftover stock that they were going to be selling, I had to pick up The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I didn't get this one the first time because I haven't read this series yet, and I just wasn't positive if I wanted to invest in that. But look at those edges. I couldn't say no. Like, I had to have those edges. They are so gorgeous, and they're making copy editions of the Mime Order, and they're going to do the rest of the series as well. I already purchased the Mime Order, will be coming my way, but it does have The Bone Season on the naked hardback, little bit of in paper art, nothing too crazy, and I don't think it's signed as far as oh, it is signed. I didn't even think it was, so that was just like an extra bonus. The actual hardback I don't think is any different than the original one, except maybe the foiling is different on this one, but I'm not positive on that. But this is the like 10th anniversary edition, and they made some changes to it from the original one. So I'm really excited to jump into the series, but I kind of want her to finish it first because I think it's been like really long gaps, and I just like, I have some trust issues with authors not finishing their series. And I actually accidentally picked up 2 copies of this next book. The first one is the Broken Binding edition, the last of my Broken Bindings, and that is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry. I actually have the Broken Binding Legends and Lattes, so I was really excited to be able to pick this one up. It just has cute sprayed edges. They didn't really do too much with this one, and then little bit on the hardback. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. We do have the signature, but I just like to have the hardcover of it because as far as I'm aware, they only released these in paperback version. But on accident, I was going to try to get both the Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust versions of the Fairy Loot one. So I bought the Bookshops and Bone Dust one, and then I got an email from Fairy Loot saying that my order had been canceled, and it didn't say why, it didn't go into any details, and at that point it had already sold out. And so I was like, well, whatever, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'll just go get the Broken Binding one, and then I'll have my matching set, and so I won't even try to get the Legends and Lattes one, no problem. Then this showed up at my door. And apparently there was something wrong. Like, I accidentally went out saying that my order was canceled, and I messaged Fairy Loot about it, and they're like, yeah, nothing we can do about it. Sorry. So, now I have 2 copies of this one. I didn't really want it, and I only have Bookshops and Bone Dust in the Fairy Loot version, so I don't have the matching Legends and Lattes, and I'm actually very irritated by it, but whatever. It is what it is. This is the Fairy Loot edition. They kind of advertise it as being, like, really colorful. If you look at them, I'll put up a picture of what they showed it looking like, and it is holographic, but it's very silver. Like, it only barely gets color at some angles, so like, I don't think it's necessarily what I thought it was going to be like. But they also have kind of just like basics on the, and then end papers, and it is also signed. Wow, that looks way different than the other signature. But now I have this. Maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it up on this bookshelf because it does kind of match, right? We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. We are now going to jump into some Fairy Loot books. Most of these come from my Fairy Loot adult subscription. And the first one that I have here is The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. I think this is a very pretty edition. The sprayed edges are, of course, gorgeous. It has a letter from the author, which I like to keep in the book. It is signed. I think that's her signature. Like, it's a full on, you can read her name signature, which is kind of impressive. But it also has some end paper art, which is really pretty. And then it has foiling on the naked hardback, just on that front part. And it does have a reversible dust jacket, and it's like fully reversible dust jacket, right? It's not just like art on the opposite side. It's another cover, which I really like. I think it's very pretty. Yeah, I don't really know anything about this book, and I haven't heard anyone talking about the actual book, the story in it. I've only heard people like showing the Fairy Loot edition, so I really have no idea what this one's about. It says curses are made to be broken, which is intriguing. It looks like it's a cold setting. Maybe I could get into this one. We'll see. Next, I have Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. Oh, A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I didn't notice up there. That's my bad. And this is by the same author as The Bridge Kingdom, and I actually really love this edition. This is a completely redesigned cover by Fairy Loot. I think it is gorgeous. I like the sprayed edges okay. They are on all sides, which I think is really cool and nice. But they also have a letter from the author with some cool artwork on there. And then this end paper art I think is really, really pretty. And the foiling on the naked hardback I think is gorgeous. I really like that a lot. So this customization really hit for me. I enjoyed what they did with this book. All of it just like, it worked well for me. And it does also have signed. So yeah, this is a really, really cool edition. I'm obviously not going to be reading this one, but maybe I'll find it, like I said, from my library or something, because this is a book that maybe I could get into. I don't know. I read The Bridge Kingdom, the first book, and I just never continued with the series, so we'll see. This next one, I think the edition is so gorgeous, and that is Feybound by Sarah El Arifi. And this I have seen mixed reviews on. I'm pretty sure it's just kind of like a color change that they did on this edition, but I really like these sprayed edges. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I love the color choices. We do have like artwork and a letter from the author in this one as well. We have end paper art, and the author actually signed the end paper art, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, I love the foiling on this naked hardback. I think it is so pretty. And then here we have another option for a reversible dust jacket. I hope you can see it in frame because I cannot tell, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. I really like all their customizations on this one. But yeah, I've heard some mixed things about the actual book itself. So it is one I am interested in, and I probably am going to be reading it. It just has moved down my list of priorities. My last monthly fairy loot that I have in here is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This came quite a while ago. It also came damaged. I don't know if you can see that. I feel like I've been getting a lot of damaged stuff from fairy loot lately, especially like the edges are just like not protected. Like this is full on ripped. But I do really like the sprayed edges on this one. I think it's super pretty. This is Cassandra Clare's first adult work as far as I am aware, and I haven't really heard anything about it. Haven't heard anybody talking about it. Here is the foiling on it. I've heard people talking about it before it came out, but then I actually did not really hear people saying whether they liked it or not, and that could just be me not being in the right places to see what people have been saying about it. But honestly, I don't really like this redesigned cover. I am not a fan of people on the cover in general. And so when you go from the gorgeous cover that they have for this book to this one, I think it's definitely a step down. The only thing that I love on this one really is the sprayed edges, and I think they're really pretty. And my final set from Fairy Loot is their Red Rising Iron Edition series. I didn't get their original Red Rising series when they came out with it, and I just wasn't sure if I wanted to get a special editions of this series because I really enjoyed the first 3 books, but then didn't really like the 4th one that came out, and it kind of tainted my enjoyment of the first 3, but I decided to go with it anyways because I did absolutely love them when I first read them. So we have Red Rising, the first book in the series, then we have Golden Sun, book 2, and Morning Star, book 3. They're really pretty, very colorful, and the edges are pretty cool. They have like the solar system in them, and they wrap around, not on the bottom, but they kind of wrap to the top, which I think is really interesting and like a different way to do it. And they do have foiling and end paper art. I don't think they're signed. Oh, they are signed. Why do I not know these things? Then we have Golden Sun. And a Morning Star, which I like this foiling, the colorful foiling. I think it works really well for these books, and I think it's really cool. I think they did a good job with these. Okay, now we're going to be jumping into some Owlcrate. These are from my Owlcrate adult subscription boxes. The first one is The Longest Autumn by Amy Avery. This is a completely redesigned cover. I do really like it, but the sprayed edges are just so basic on these Owlcrate books, it's kind of bugging me. We do have some end paper art. It is signed by the author, and the foiling on the naked hardback is very pretty. And we do have some artwork on the reverse of the dust jacket. And overall, like I'm intrigued by this book. I think I could definitely read it. I just can't get over the fact that these edges are so basic. I don't know, it just bugs me. Then we have The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I'm pretty sure I have another one special edition of this that I showed in my last book haul, but this is a completely redesigned cover as well. I actually think it is very pretty. I don't know anything about the book, so I don't know if it matches, but again, basic sprayed edges, which is just kind of just fine, right? Like, I want more than fine. And then we do have some end paper art, which is very pretty, and I love this like naked hardback art. I think it is so pretty. And then this reverse dust jacket as well. So I mean, overall they have some great customizations. I can't get over the edges. I don't know why. Maybe I've just gotten so used to it that now I'm kind of spoiled and snobbish about my edges. And this one was a pretty highly anticipated Owlcrate one, and this is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I do quite enjoy this edition. I think it is pretty. Again, basic sprayed edges though. What are we doing here? And then we do have some really pretty end paper art. The foiling's nice on the naked hardback, and then we have some art on the reverse as well. So honestly, I think they did a pretty decent job with this overall. I would just say, just like, yeah, fix up the edges. I am excited to read this series though, so I'm really looking forward to getting into it. This next one is the one I got the most recently, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I actually absolutely love this cover. It gives it very like Jane Austen vibes, but with werewolves, which I find so funny and so entertaining. This one doesn't even have sprayed edges, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of prefer to just solid ones. And I don't know anything really about this book, but I know that it's like werewolves and stuff in here, and I think it's hilarious that they made it look like Jane Austen with werewolves. I don't know, I find that very entertaining. And then our art under the, I should have looked at that before I showed on camera. Oh well. It does have a more, I think, fitting cover that you can choose to use as well, like on the reverse. So if you don't love the like Jane Austen vibes, if you don't think they fit, you can do that. And then it has this really pretty artwork on the naked hardback, and it's not like one of those smooth, it has like a little bit of texture to, like, it is smooth, but it's like smooth in a velvety way. I really, really like it. So honestly, overall, I think this is one of my favorite of their customizations. It just really works for me. It really hits with me. And honestly, like, I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I haven't heard any other opinions on this special edition, but I'm interested to know what people think and whether they like that change or they think it doesn't really fit the vibe of the book. This one also has a letter and is signed as well. Okay, we are coming up on the last books. I am not going to even pull this one out of the case. This is a Owlcrate edition of Voyage of the Damned, and honestly, I just don't think I'm ever going to read this book, so I might just sell it, so I might not take it out of the case. But this one, I think they just like color changed what the original book was, and I haven't really heard people talking about it or enjoying it, so I'm probably not going to read it. I also got this gorgeous copy of To Cage a God by Elizabeth May, and I love these sprayed edges. I love this end paper art. Like, look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. And then the foiling on the naked hardback, it's kind of hard to see because it's like silver and white. But I just think that this is such a pretty customization. I haven't heard anyone really talking about the book, unfortunately. Ooh, we have different artwork on the other end. Sorry, gotta show you both. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this book. I feel like this is the one that I definitely would read, but I just don't think I could read this one because the edges are so pretty. And the final book in this special edition haul is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I got this one quite a while ago. I think this is probably one of the first books that was put on the list to be part of this book haul, right? One of the first ones I acquired. This one has an interesting cover where you can kind of like pull off the see-through cover, and then it has this other one underneath it, which I actually quite enjoy. I think they do it infrequently enough that it doesn't get old or overused, which I do like. They have really pretty sprayed edges on here. Gotta let you focus on them. I think they're absolutely stunning. And then, of course, some end paper art as well. Are we signed? Kind of. We have like a little letter that's bound in here, but I don't know if that's I think that's probably a printed signature. But yeah, so I am actually really excited to read Starling House. I quite enjoy the kind of creepy supernatural haunted house vibes. I loved A Study in Drowning, and I've heard people say that this one kind of has similar vibes to that. So looking forward to trying this one out. This is definitely one I'm going to read. Okay, that is the end of the book haul of the special editions. Keep your eye out because there will be another one coming of the regular editions that I have acquired as well. I will be looking the same. I will be in this same exact spot, and it'll be the same day, but a different day for you. So let me know which of these special editions you think is the prettiest, the most well done. Which one do you feel kind of like hit the mark the best of these special editions? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.